Well, it's been a long time, everyone, but I am proud to say that the Speed Phenom Series is officially back in action. And what better place to open up season number 2 than here at Daytona International Speedway? It'll be the first ever trip here for the Phenom Series, and we've got 28 determined drivers all ready to tackle the high banks around this super speedway. Some of them are returning for a second season, while 12 drivers in the field have never run a Phenom race at all. So many varying degrees of experience all throughout the grid. One driver who won't make the call, though, is your reigning champion, Sabre Fox, as she is not eligible to come back to defend her title. So we will have a guaranteed new champion at season's end. But we got a race to decide here first. Who will take home the inaugural win here at the World Center of Racing? Let's take you to the start and find out together. It's going to be an exciting one. Well, after a long hibernation, it is finally time for this series to wake up from its slumber and get back to racing. Like I said, 12 of the drivers in this race are going to be making their first ever Phenom starts today, including the front row, Caleb Rose in the 59 and Angelo Delvecchio in the 85. This will take you through the field, and you can see the beautiful selection of cars that have shown up to race today, capped off by the last row, another pair of rookies, Tim Simmons and Will Parrish. But it's always a special thing every time we come here to Daytona International Speedway to kick off a new season, and now it is the Phenom Series' turn for the newcomers in the field. How will they fare today across these 50 laps of racing? But no more waiting. The green flag is about to fly, and we have officially begun season number 2 here at Daytona. Let's go. Coming up to the line just about at full speed now, looks like the pole sitter Caleb Rose will hang on to the lead over Delvecchio, and the newcomer out of Kentucky will lead our first ever lap here at this speedway for the Phenom Series. Delvecchio not giving up though on the outside in the only pink colored car through the field. She'll try and maintain that number 85 Chevy up top, but here's Ryan Reed, who got a top 10 finish in all 7 Phenom races this season to go, trying to maintain that streak. The driver out of Texas, but here comes Jeff Bolton down low in the 38 car, trying to put the 31, the 59, and the 85 above him, possibly 4 wide there, through 3 and 4. But Bolton, the native out of Rochester, New York, takes the lead off turn number 4 over Wisconsin native Tim Fiegel, who's also making his debut today in that 94 car, but Bolton will lead lap number 2. Bolton just making his comeback into the Speed University. Did a brief stint in Season 1 of the SRS before he stepped away for a little bit, but now he is back to take on both the Phenom and the SRS. And right here is the purple number 23 of Matthew Hubert, the championship runner-up from Season 1, losing it in a painfully slim margin to Sabre Fox. And this season, he's coming back. He definitely doesn't want to experience that kind of loss again. He's going to take that Yahoo machine up to P2. He'll have the 55 of Evan Graham behind him and the 28 of Alan Muccioli, a native out of Maryland. He's got a part-time ride for Stormbreak Motorsports in the main series, but here he is in the 28 ride, getting to dip in the series for the first time. Oh, a car on the wall in the back. That's Leopold McDermott. Griffin Leopold McDermott in the 75, the very first winner of the SBS at Mosport last season. He caught the wall just a little bit out of the trial, and that's going to cost him valuable speed. And you cannot afford to lose the draft at a place like Daytona. Otherwise, it'll probably kill your race. He'll try and get his draft off the 9 of Derek Hamill the best he can. Oh, and close contact right there between the 44 and the 55. Benedict Murdo and Aiden Graham fortunately get off of each other. And thankfully, nothing disastrous came from that. But only on lap 4 of the race, these guys are racing fiercely, as you can see. But at the lead, Alan Muccioli goes to the point now in the 28 ride. Here comes Bolton with a crossover. Jeff Bolton in that 38 Ford running like a deer, trying to get back to the lead again. And check this out. Here comes the 74 of Will Parrish, who started dead last in this race. He's up here to make some noise. A great surge forward by that number 74 driver. Hailing from the Midwest himself, Will Parrish tries to go underneath Muccioli. He'll get second, but Bolton shuts the door as he will keep the lead. Oh, up into the wall now is the 31 of Ryan Reed as he drags it through the tri-oval. Ryan Reed, who started third, he has now drifted all the way near to the tail end of the field where Griffin Lapo McDermott is. And he also held up the 97 of Tim Simmons in the process. But at least that is a saving grace for Lapo McDermott. Now he's got a couple of blue ovals to draft with and get up to the weight pack again. And still unfortunate for Reed. You definitely don't want to make a mistake like that too early in the game and really cost yourself. And Tim Simmons, he is just kind of riding around, kind of a victim of that, but hopefully they can form up an alliance to get back up to the 0-2 of Jack Davis, who started next to Ryan Reed on the grid. You got more drivers up here in the back of the field. Here's Sarah Taylor debuting today. Here's Herjal Alonso coming back for another season. David Richardson, the Michigan native, also taken to the grid for the first time in that 48 Chevy. And there's the Rockingham winner from a season ago, Derek Hamill. You see all the determination and the movement throughout this pack. This is great to see these guys getting the experience they need. Many drivers here being to Daytona for the first ever time. So as long as they can stay like this for quite a while, this will definitely help them out a ton. And now down to the inside, here comes the one of Henry Thomas, trying to challenge Bolton for the race lead. The West Virginia native, also one of the many debutants in this race. The two Fords side by side down the front straightaway between the green car, the blue car. Give it to Bolton again, even though Thomas gave him a good fight for it. Here comes another Ford to join the battle. Alexander Rowe, a Florida native himself. I believe he is the only Florida native in this race, so it would be great if he were to get the win in front of the home crowd, as he'll give assistance to Thomas in the one car. As we are already at lap number 10 out of 50, already 20% of the way through this race. This race can definitely go by in a hurry, so even though we're 40 laps may seem like a long distance away, it isn't really in the grand scheme of things, because if you make a mistake at the wrong time, you may not have a lot of time to recover. But now Thomas will not get credit for this one. It's going to be Alexander Rowe leading him back to the line. He started up his own team in the SRS of Fallout Racing as two more cars got in the wall behind him. I think that's Daniel Voiles and Herjal Alonso. And yes, it is the 52 and the 26, both making contact with the wall simultaneously, as that tri-oval wall has claimed two more victims, and it shuffled them all the way to the back end of the field, along with Lapo McDermott and Derek Hamill. Meanwhile, back up at the front, Angelo Del Vecchio was stormed up to the lead once again in car 85. And you see way up on the top side is your former leader, Alexander Rowe. They'll be lucky to even maintain a top 5 position here. He's stuck way on the outside of, looks like, Nicky Martinez and Matthew Hubert. Rowe follows all the way down to 8th in that exchange. But now Del Vecchio's lead may be threatened by the 45 of Sarah Taylor. A couple of the lady drivers in the field getting to do battle here. And there goes that peak machine out to the lead. Sarah Taylor trying to get that experience herself. And she's got another Toyota of Jack Davis along with Matthew Hubert. So the Toyotas may have an alliance going on right here. The 0-2 is able to get down with the 45, but not Hubert in the 23. He's going to get shoved up to the middle. And here comes your most recent winner in the series, Angel Gutierrez, getting that fantastic win out at Talladega to close out season 1. So he's going to charge up to second place underneath Davis and try and get after this 45 of Taylor for the lead. But Gutierrez, he started up his own team of Renegade Gutierrez Racing in the main series, and he's going to waste no time trying to get the lead from the 45. And oh no, there's 4 wide back there in the middle of the pack. I see Ryan Reed is right there. Alexander Rowe, Jeff Bolton, and the 8 of Alex Daniels. This can be a tricky situation if this doesn't get resolved quickly. That 8 car definitely in a precarious position, as now they're going 4 wide in 2 places. Oh, man, I really hope they're able to figure this one out. Contact! Ryan Reed out of shape. And they somehow keep it straight. But the 9 of Hamill's on the apron. Back up onto the track. Into Alex Daniels. And around he goes. Into the wall. Out of the tri-oval on lap 14. Alex Daniels spins like a top after getting hit out of the tri-oval. Whoa, Daniel Voiles, a close call right there. He may have gotten involved too. Oh, and a bunch of damage onto the front end of the 55 of Aiden Graham. A terrible outcome for him. That car's heavily damaged. So is that number 8 Ford of Alex Daniels. He's going to be hurt the rest of this race. But this will summon the pace car. Out for the first time this afternoon. Angel Gutierrez has the lead out of the 4th turn. Sarah Taylor doesn't look like she has the chance to catch him down. Angel Gutierrez will take the lead at this first caution flag of the day. But a very risky move going 4 wide through turns 3 and 4, and ultimately it all fell apart once they all got to the tri-oval. Unfortunately, this is one of the things we expected to happen with all these drivers on the track with not a lot of super speedway experience. Sometimes this is what happens. But Alex Daniels, he's squeezed 4 wide out of turn 4. He gets into the right rear of the 31 to start all this, but that causes Derek Hamill to panic and go on the apron, and naturally he just slides up onto the track, and Alex Daniels and Aiden Graham are left with nowhere to go as the 26 of Voiles with a magnificent miss. He nearly plowed right into the 8 of Daniels, but thankfully he was able to avoid a hard impact. One more replay with this angle here, but the position that Alex Daniels was in, he wasn't really given a place to go. He was kind of boxed in where he was, and out of turn 4, the room just simply runs out between him and Ryan Reed. They're able to control their cars for the most part, but unfortunately Derek Hamill just couldn't control his on the apron. And poor Aiden Graham in the 55, he was left with no place to go. And I am very, very glad that only ended up being mostly a 2-car incident when 6 or 7 more cars easily could have been involved, but still not the outcome that Aiden Graham or Alex Daniels desired. Well, now this is going to grant everybody an opportunity to come to pit road here for their first pit stops of the season. On lap 16, this might put these guys on the edge to comfortably make it on fuel. As you see, it's mostly fuel-only stops by the majority of the field. But out of pit road first is going to be Sarah Taylor in the 45. Gutierrez comes out second, followed by Tim Fiegel. Sadly for the 55 of Aiden Graham, that damage was enough for him to be knocked out of this race completely. But the 8 of Alex Daniels is still rolling, though, although that 8 car is wounded a little. But in the meantime, like I said, off pit road, Sarah Taylor and Angel Gutierrez on the front row. Let's see how Taylor does here against the Talladega winner from last season. And they come to the line, and we are back to green on lap 19. And immediately the 45 gets kicked 3 wide by that orange 94 car. Tim Fiegel, here he comes to take the lead of this race. And it looks like he will get assistance from that blue number 7 Chevy of Logan Williams as they try to hound that 94 down. But Fiegel, in his debut race, gets to taste the lead here at the World Center of Racing. They're 3 wide for second. Matthew Hubert making a move now underneath the 7 and the 45. And it's safe to say that restart did not go in Sarah Taylor's favor at all. She's on the outside of Logan Williams at risk of losing even more spots and getting freight trained. And back there, it worked out just as worse for Gutierrez in the 25. Across the line, 8th place for the 25 that time by Angel Gutierrez. But now it's Fiegel and Hubert. They're going to try and form a little alliance here, even though one's a Ford, one's a Toyota. If you can space yourself out ahead of the rest of the pack, you might be in good shape. Right back here for 3rd, 4th, and 5th, here's a trio of New York native drivers. Angela Del Vecchio, Nikki Martinez, as well as Griffin Leopold McDermott, who made contact with the wall a little bit ago. He's bounced back up into the top 5, and here we go for another lead change. Hubert goes to the inside of the 94 Fiegel. He will take control now. And lap 20 at the line. 2/5 of the way through this race will be led by car 23. But here is the 43 of Martinez. We haven't really gotten to talk about her a whole lot this race, but here she is up in the second, going underneath her team owner in the SRS as Inertia Racing Technologies has formed. And Nicky Martinez is driving that car for a few part-time starts this season. But Martinez is going to be shoved 3 wide by the 45 of Taylor, who's made her way back down to the inside, all chasing that purple 23 machine of Hubert. And we got another car in the wall out of the tri-oval. It's Logan Williams. He has now scraped the right side of that number 7 machine quite a bit, going through that tri-oval. Thankfully, not much damage is to be found on that car, but obviously not an ideal predicament for Williams. He's going to fall to the tail end of the pack, holding up Eric Sadler behind him in the 14. At least the 7 car has a lot of good cars to draft with. There's Benedict Murdo, Derek Hamill, Ryan Reed, and Alexander Rowe that he's behind. And while we are back here, there is that heavily damaged number 8 of Alex Daniels. He's over 3 seconds back, just plugging 181, 182 out of the corner. And if he doesn't catch a caution real quickly, it'll be just a matter of laps before the field runs him back down again to put him 1 lap off the pace. Coming down for lap 25, Sarah Taylor has gotten the lead back in that number 45 Toyota, but Louis Dubois in the 92 is right behind her, the Lake Effect Autosport driver in the main series. He got that fantastic top 10 in the Indy 250 a season ago. And for Dubois, he honestly considers himself more to be a short track racer. He doesn't really consider super speedway racing to be a strong suit. But nonetheless, here he goes to the inside, trying to get the lead back. A great run for this 92, but here's a better run for the 97 of Tim Simmons, who started on the last row of this race with Will Parrish, and he's got Caleb Rose, the pole sitter, to help him out. This will be the halfway point of this race, this time by at the line. And here comes that bright green 97 Ford across the line, and I believe this will be Simmons' first lap lead of the day. He's going to get the halfway lap lead at Daytona. Simmons continuing to do a fine job keeping that 97 car in the lead, as he's likely going to keep it once they get back to the line again. But it's good for Simmons, Caleb Rose, and all these first-time starters here at Daytona for being able to learn the ropes as quickly as they are today. And across the 12 tracks that we're going to this season, it's important that they get used to all the track types that we visit. So good on them for being able to learn so fast. But up to third place, here's Benedict Murdo, who's trying to keep his operation going the best he can on the SRS side. Now he's going to go down low to 59, but I don't think he has the help he needs. Angela Del Vecchio's a little bit too far back in that 85. As we go through the pack, oh, more contact! Angel Gutierrez gets touched by Daniel Voiles. And thankfully, he's able to keep it under control, but they are 4 wide now again through turn number 4. Oh, and this did not end well last time this happened. Matthew Hubert, hopefully he's able to work it out in the middle, and he's going to. Nice job by everybody being able to work that out safely. Hubert in the 23 especially did a great job not being able to get into the right rear of Jeff Bolton. And all these guys have been spared once again from great calamity. Well, this is very good experience for Tim Simmons right here. It's lap 30 already. He hasn't lost the lead since lap 25. Great way to get himself some TV time and impress his family and friends back home in Tennessee where he's from. But it might be under threat now. Here comes Martinez in the 43 to try and get the lead back again from Simmons. And I don't believe that Ford up top is going to back this one up and get the lead back at the line. It will be Nicky Martinez's lead here, 3/5 of the way through. I told you people, the laps around here click off like they're nothing. We already have 20 laps to go, and this is the part of the race where you really start to have to strategize and plan how you're going to be near the end of this race with a few laps to go. But now here comes Henry Thomas. It's been a while since he was last in the lead in that number 1 car, as he's got a fellow Ford behind him helping him out, Jeff Bolton. There's Isaac Davis in that 66 Toyota, who's making another brief appearance in the top 10. That's good to see out of the 66 ride. Now Henry Thomas gets pushed back to the lead. You see most of this pack is still together. How long is it going to be until they get to Daniels? He's going through turn 2. They're going into the tri-oval, so at least they're not gaining a whole lot of time on that 8 car, but unless a caution comes out or something happens, that 8 car may just be a factor before the end of this one, I feel like. Oh, here we go again. 4 wide near the front of the pack as the 48 and 38 touch each other going into 3. Richardson and Bolton make contact in the middle of this four-wide scenario. They keep it under control for now, and I hope they work it out in a few seconds. Otherwise, it's going to not end in a good result. So far, they're working it out. Oh, the blue car back there. I think that was the 16 of Ayers got into the wall. Yes, he did. That's going to cost that 16 some speed. But up ahead, I think everyone was able to work it out okay. Great job to those guys, especially that near contact between David Richardson and Jeff Bolton. Attaboy to both those guys for being able to hang on. Now another challenge to Henry Thomas for the lead. Here comes Derek Hamill up to challenge that number 1 car. The pair of blue ovals side by side, first and second. A pair of Toyotas for third and fourth. Hubert underneath Jack Davis. It looks like Hubert might prevail there on the inside, but Hamill will get the best of Henry Thomas that time. He'll take the lead again at the line. And there goes engine number 9, leading them all down the line here at this super speedway. He's going to shut the door ahead of Hubert there into turn 1. Hamill's main ride in the SRS is a double 9 right there, but he picked up a phenomenal win over at Phoenix for round 2, picking up a win quite early in his career over there. So that makes him and Griffin Lakefield McDermott one of the 2 Phenom Series graduates to get an SRS win. He comes down to the bottom line again. It's a couple Toyotas underneath the 1 Ford. Here's Taylor and Hubert underneath Henry Thomas. Here comes Daniel Voiles into the picture. We haven't seen him in quite a bit in that navy blue Chevy. There's the other navy blue car, the Toyota Benedict Murdo, who's just scraped the wall, I did see. Thankfully, he's able to continue on. And so far, 26 out of the 27 cars are still within this pack, as Eric Sadler is the caboose on this train. Now it looks like Hamill's lead may be in jeopardy. Tim Simmons has found his way up to the lead now, trying to get it from Hamill, at least for the moment. Trying to take the lead again, which he hasn't had since lap 30, and he's got Voiles behind him to push him along. But look out, I do see that 8 car just ahead of these leaders. This is going to be a pivotal moment as they get to the start-finish line. How close will they catch in? Tim Simmons has a lot of pressure on him now. Where is he going to go? Up high, maybe? I don't think that's the right call. Voiles jumps to the inside. He uses the 8 as a pick, and Voiles goes to the lead in the 26. And that is not at all what Tim Simmons wanted, plus the entire outside line. That 8 car obviously going a lot slower because of that damage. And look at this, Sarah Taylor's gone by. Isaac Davis, Hergel Alonso, Angela Delvecchio, and look at the 97 stuck up on the top. That's the absolute worst case scenario that Tim Simmons could have asked for. Oh, we got some guys moving in the pack. Oh, hang on, what's this? I think the 85 is going to pit road. What is Angela Delvecchio doing? On lap 39, she comes down pit road, but she slowed up most of the field while doing so. I don't understand that at all. I guess her team didn't fully fill up that car all the way with fuel. We'll have to see what the issue may be on that 85 car. Still working on it. Now they send her away. It looks like it was a splash and go stop, but a poorly timed one, if I should say so myself, because look at the schism that it has created within the pack. The field all spread out now. But here are the 4 biggest beneficiaries, the 26, the 45, who's also heading for pit road, Sarah Taylor. She might not be able to make it all the way either. Same with Matthew Hubert and Tim Fiegel. Well, this is certainly a twist that I didn't expect to see happen. On lap 40, these guys are coming in for splash and go stops. And it makes me concerned about the rest of the field. Just how much farther can they go on this tank of gas as the 94 and the 23 also come down. The 85 pulls off pit road. Voiles now with a 3-wide move possibly by Isaac Davis and Hergel Alonso as they try and take the lead away from him. And look at how far away the top 6 are compared to everybody else. Is anybody going to come down this time? Alonso's going to stay out. He's going to have the lead at the line again. Looks like everyone else is going to elect to stay on the track as well and not risk losing position. But now the 45, the 23, and the 94, plus the 85 as well, they might be at risk for getting left by the top 6 cars. Now the 23 and the 94 are back on the racetrack. but it's not looking too great for them because here comes leader Derek Hamill storming right towards the two of them. Oh, but Hamill's got to get out of the gas to make room for Fiegel, and that'll give Alonso an opportunity to get to the outside of the 9 car for the lead. We are under 10 laps to go, by the way. This is 9 to go right here, and give the lead to car number 9 at the line. He's got Voiles below him in the 26, and right there's the second pack, being led by Henry Thomas, but he's got Dubois and Bolton going lower than that 1 car. A trio of Fords at the head of pack number 2. 2.4 seconds behind is the deficit. If they can get a good union amongst themselves, they may have an opportunity to run the top 6 down with just 8.5 laps to go right here. Before the lead, the pole sitter is back. Caleb Rose in the number 59 Chevy, trying to get to the inside of Voiles for the lead coming out of 4. And he's going to get it with the assistance of that bright green Ford of Tim Simmons, who was also back in the hunt of it now. He led several laps early on, but thankfully he was ahead of Del Vecchio pitting so suddenly. So he is kicking it with the top 6. And check out the yellow Toyota of Isaac Davis in the 66 car. What it would mean for him to grab a victory here at Daytona. Same thing with Sergio Alonso, the only Toyota and Dodge here in this front pack. And there is Hubert and Fiegel. They have been shuffled to the back end of this pack. They are both each a lap down. And meanwhile, for the second pack, there's more 4 wide happening with Thomas, Dubois, Bolton, and Ayers way down on the bottom in the 16. But it looks as though he will be clear, along with Will Parrish, Eric Sadler, and Nicky Martinez. They will be the new cars at the head of this pack now. Meanwhile, the rest of these guys have to try and figure it out. Oh, hang on, Jeff Bolton. Bolton's going to get turned. Huge crash. Upside down goes the 0-2. Ryan Reed also airborne right on top of the 28. Goodness gracious. A terrifying crash at the exit of the Tri-Oval with just 7 laps to go. Look at all the carnage that lays there on the racetrack. Alan Muccioli, he had Ryan Reed land top of him in the 31. Logan Williams was also in it. Griffin Lepo McDermott. There's Jeff Bolton, who I saw get turned around first in that whole mess. Alex Daniels torn to pieces. The 0-2 of Jack Davis going for a wild ride. He went up and over. And Ryan Reed was also majorly airborne too. But the caution's going to come out. It's a dead heat to see who will lead it at the line. And give it to Caleb Rose in the 59. He will lead us to our second caution of the day with just 6 laps left here at Daytona. And I do believe that may give us enough time to give you folks a green flag finish to this race. But obviously we'll have to see once we sort everything out. Pace car picks up the field on the back straightaway. Alan Muccioli makes the crawl back to pit road. Same thing with Jeff Bolton. His day is likely done. There's Williams and Lepo McDermott going by with damage. But obviously, lots of replays to check out for this devastating accident involving Davis, Reed, and a multitude of drivers. Well, just like the first caution, they were not able to get away with going 4 wide into the Tri-Oval. You see the 38 of Jeff Bolton right there in the middle, and it looks like the 44 Benedict Murdo is the one who turns him. Around goes Bolton, right up into Jack Davis, and just watch the ride that he takes, along with Ryan Reed, as you see all the hard hits that were given out in this wreck between all these guys. What a chaotic scene. Even at this angle, it doesn't look much prettier, but you see Davis is left with nowhere to go as Bolton gets spun right up into him. And just watch those cars dance through the air at Daytona. Oh, and the 8 of Alex Daniels piles into the wreck late to put one final nail in the coffin to it. And you see 3 of the cars are able to drive away from the scene, but unfortunately the 0-2, the 8, and the 31 are the ones left stricken just below the racing surface. One last time, here's the 44 of Murdo trying to go for the hole underneath the 38, but ultimately no room was left to be found, and he gets into Bolton's left rear to start this off. There's the one of Henry Thomas scraping the wall above these guys, and wow, look at how sideways those two get on the apron. Man, Murdo's able to save it, but not Jeff Bolton. He goes around right in front of Jack Davis, and this impact with Ryan Reed is what's going to send those 2 cars on a flyer. And that is a sight that these fans here at Daytona are never going to forget for a long time. Wow, look at the 48 of Richardson. Just missed this accident by the skin of his teeth. What a lucky escape for him. There's the 31 spinning like a helicopter right over Alan Muccioli. And here comes Alex Daniels. Bam! Delivering one final hit onto the 0-2 and the 31 after they take their wild rides. You see Lapo, McDermott, and Williams also going for a spin, as there's the 31 balancing right on Muccioli's hood as they both go sliding to a stop. And you can see all the smoke and debris that has filled this racetrack just past the trioval section. And there is Muccioli backing away, allowing Ryan Reed to settle back down on the ground again. But throughout the young history of the Speed Phenom Series, by far, this is the wildest accident we have had. I definitely hope everybody's okay, especially the 31, the 8, and the 0-2. I hear they're all being transported to the infield care center for further observation. But I do hope that they're able to recover quickly and they can be back behind the wheel with us again for round number 2. First of the onboard cameras is from Jeff Bolton, who was the first to get turned around in this melee. Get a load of this view from David Richardson as he miraculously gets away clean. Alan Muccioli was not so lucky as he's about to get an unexpected passenger right on top of him. Here's the view from Ryan Reed, who ends up catching plenty of air in the 31 car. And right here is the onboard of Jack Davis, whose world gets turned upside down in the blink of an eye. Well, it took a lot of effort to get it done, but we were able to clean up the track in time to give you folks a 2-lap sprint to the finish here at Daytona International Speedway. Again, that was one violent accident involving the guys who started in row number 2 for this race, but I am proud to say everyone who is in the infield care center is doing all right, and they don't appear to be too badly injured. Anyways, they come off of 4. Caleb Rose is back to where he was at the beginning of this race, with Simmons, Hamill, Isaac Davis, and Alonso being the rest of the top 5. But this is where the pressure has built up to the climax. If you want to be the first name on the trophy here at Daytona, you got to show how bad you want it right now. It is green-white checker time here at the World Center of Racing. And look right there, a terrible restart for the 9 of Derek Hamill. He is falling way behind. He's got to be having a big problem aboard that race car because he's getting passed in all directions. And I am being told that the 9 car has just lost a cylinder. That's why he's down on power. Oh, that could not have come at a worse time for Derek Hamill, along with everyone else who restarted behind him. But meanwhile, up here, 3-4 wide for the lead down the back straightaway. The 66 of Davis giving a big push to the 97. Caleb Rose trying to stick it down low, but the 97 will clear him by the time they go into turn 3. And now it's the bright green machine of Simmons in control of this race. About 8 cars remain at the front of the pack as they come towards the white flag. 2.5 miles left of racing. Can Simmons hang on, or will Caleb Rose find a way to catch up to him again? The 59 doing his best to remain in the slipstream of the 97. He does have Daniel Voiles behind him to give him a push if he needs one. On the back straightaway, the 2 first-time starters, 1-2, but Voiles has an opportunity. He's going to try and make the pass on Rose. Martinez may help him along in the 43. Voiles challenges for second. 2 turns to go. Will Voiles have enough time to catch him? Final turn at Daytona. It looks like Voiles will be too far behind. And after starting 27th on the grid, the checkered flag will fall for car 97, Tim Simmons. He wins the very first race at Daytona for the Phenom Series. Well done. Well, would you believe that? For Tennessee's Tim Simmons, the very final guy to get a spot on this season's roster, and even started in the very last row of this race. is able to persevere and fight his way up to the lead when it mattered the most to collect this big win on Stock Car Racing's biggest stage. He will be the very first winner in this series at Daytona, and he will start the season off the best way possible. And I do believe he owes this victory a ton to that guy right there, the 66 of Isaac Davis, who gave him that vital push to get him past Caleb Rose on the back straightaway with 1.5 laps to go and to never look back. But hey, you got to give credit where credit is due. Simmons did a terrific job patiently slicing his way through the field, being able to stay ahead of all the chaos and destruction that happened out there, and for being able to put himself in the perfect position to fight for the victory. He drove like a veteran today. And there he goes, pulling into his pit box to kick off the celebration right away. I'm sure he's probably feeling so many emotions underneath that helmet. Joy, confusion, shock, or a combination of all three. But hey, I don't blame him at all. That all comes with collecting a win here at Daytona International Speedway. This is going to be one unforgettable first start, first win that Tim Simmons is ever going to have in his whole career. So real quick, here's a look at the top 10 after today's inaugural event at Daytona. Tim Simmons gets to go to victory lane this afternoon in first. Daniel Voiles tried all he could to catch him at the end, but settles for a runner-up finish. Same thing with Caleb Rose. Your pole sitter comes home in third. Nicky Martinez fourth. A bittersweet top 5 finish for Benedict Murdo. He did trigger that massive crash in the fading laps, but 5th place is still really good for him. Henry Thomas brings it home in 6th. Isaac Davis, the one who gave the winning push to Tim Simmons, settles for 7th. 8th for William Ayers. 9th for David Richardson. And rounding out the top 10 is Hergel Alonso in the 52. And as we say that, our time here at Daytona today is over. We really appreciate you all being able to watch this fantastic race. It really was entertaining from start to finish, and I think it may have set the bar for this track being the season opener going forward. We hope you're able to stick around and catch us next time when we go out to California Speedway for round 2. We will be heading out west to another fun racetrack, and we hope to see you out there as we bring more Phenom content your way. Here come the full race results and the points following round 1. One more congratulations to Tim Simmons on picking up his first ever Phenom win. And so long from Daytona Beach, Florida.